the Yonge University line. Trains are now running between St. Clair and St. Andrew following a fire investigation. City News Time, 5:19. A Canadian military plane is in Haiti after the country asked for help combating gang violence. Violence has become a reality for those living in the Haitian capital of Port-au-Prince since last summer, with hundreds having reportedly been kidnapped and killed. The United Nations also has said gangs are restricting access to necessities like health care and water, and the gangs are also allegedly sexually assaulting women and children. Canada's military will remain in Haiti for several days to help with surveillance and intelligence reports. Back here at home, Toronto police are working to identify a man wanted in connection to an alleged assault at a TTC bus terminal. It happened at Eglinton West Station at 2 o'clock yesterday morning. The suspect allegedly went to the station near Allen Road in Eglinton when a TTC employee told him buses were no longer running. Investigators say the suspect then started to argue with the employee before leaving the station. And when the TTC employee walked over to lock the door, police allege the suspect forced his way back in and assaulted the employee. The suspect is described as between 35 to 40 years of age, 5 feet 11 tall with a medium to heavy build, dark mustache and eyeglasses, last seen wearing a dark blue jacket, faded blue jeans, white Puma shoes, a yellow baseball hat, and carrying a maroon gym bag. His photo can be found on the Toronto Police website. And coming up, traffic and weather together are the ones. And starting tomorrow, Holland Bloorview Hospital tries to make a Guinness World Record. That story up next. City News Time, 5:20.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Oh, hi. I'd like to apply for a loan so I can consolidate some of my debts.
Sure. Do you own your home?
Yes. But Carl, our resident ghost, keeps saying it's his house and we should
get out. Okay, but you are the registered owner.
Yes.
Then you're approved.
Hey, hear that, Carl?
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Go to alpinecredits.ca to get started. Some conditions apply.
Visitor license 12616.
Are you looking for a trusted and experienced online high school where you can earn credits or upgrade your marks? Learn with Ontario Virtual School, Ontario's leading online provider with a 5-star Google rating. OVS has over 140 interactive grade 7 to 12 courses to choose from, including STEM, French immersion, and more. Sign up today, create your own timetable, and get access to their supportive teachers and counselors. See why over 25,000 students have chosen to learn with OVS. Visit OntarioVirtualSchool.ca.
City News Time, 5:21. Let's check on traffic. Here's Maria Pardo.
This report is brought to you by TMS Clinics of Canada. Well, things are starting to ease here and there, but it does still remain busy on the eastbound 401 from the 427 to Kipling, and again from the 400 in both the Express and Collectors to east of Kiel in the Collectors. And on the westbound 401, I continue to see delays as you head into Ajax to the 412 and a bunch up through Kipling. And on the northbound DVP is still pretty busy as you approach Eglinton to north of Lawrence. Southbound 400 also slow from Bayfield to approaching Essa, and it's moving slower than usual through Highway 7, but it is starting to improve. Southbound 404 DVP is slow as you approach Shepherd to south of Lawrence. And on the westbound Gardner, just seeing it's a little slow through Strawn, but it has improved since my last report. And same story on the westbound QEW. It seems things have now eased. Everything's now moving up to speed through there. On the eastbound QEW, just seeing some brake lights east of Caldra, but then after that it gets pretty good drive. And on the eastbound Gardner, you'll also find delays from the Humber Bay Bridge to Parkside. Did you know 1 in 5 Canadians struggle with their mental health? Discover how TMS Clinics of Canada can help you or a loved one. For a free consultation, visit tmsofcanada.com. Your next report's coming up at 5:31. With the forecast, here's Carl Lamb.
All right, thanks, Maria. Well, it's cloudy tonight. Its temperatures cool right back down to -2. And we do also have a few snow showers, rain showers possible. Don't worry, it's not anything we're going to have to shovel. It's just a little bit of nuisance precipitation. I know Christine Ritchie loves that term, nuisance precipitation. It just doesn't stop, right, Christine?
That's right.
Yeah, well, we have temperatures headed back up to -1 tomorrow with sunshine, and it just a little cold with that wind from the north, and then we head into Tuesday, 5 degrees, mostly cloudy, rain and gusty winds up to about 50 kilometers per hour, and then we're back into sunny cloud on Wednesday at 4. Right now, it's 3 at Pearson Ford. Downtown tonight's overnight lows -2.
The bonus redemption event is back at Shoppers Drug Mart. So here's a quick PC Optimum hack from a member that could help you save big.
1 second, Galen. Just doing some math. I redeem only 100,000 points and get $140 off beauty products during the event. That's an extra $40 in value.
Now that adds up.
The Shoppers Drug Mart bonus redemption event runs February 3rd to 8th, exclusive to Shoppers Drug Mart. PC Optimum points can be redeemed in store and online. Restrictions apply. Details in store.
City News Time 5:24 coming up at the bottom of the hour. The latest on City Council debating this week on whether to keep warming centers open 24/7 for those without a home. And Toronto police say a fatal hit and run on the Danforth early this morning has turned into a murder investigation. And City TV is broadcasting tonight's 65th annual Grammy Awards. Michael Bublé and Drake have already stored some prizes. The show begins at 8 o'clock tonight. Details on these stories and more coming up next.
When you need to know.
On the go. In a matter of about 4 hours, temperatures will drop about 6 to 8 degrees. So we'll have a big drop in temperatures.
The most accurate weather reports in the city. With traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the ones.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather.
This is City News 680. Everywhere.
City News Time 5:25. They're going for the Guinness World Record. Holland Blue Review alongside the Raptors 905 and Pascal Siakam will attempt to break a Guinness World Record for the largest gathering of people wearing capes. The record currently stands at 2,266. It's all part of the hospital's annual Capes for Kids fundraiser aimed at sparking conversations about childhood disability and inclusion. Tomorrow's event will also feature special guest appearances from Canadian indie pop band Walk Off the Earth and Raptors superfan Matt Bacchia. It's all gets going inside the Paramount Fine Food Center in Mississauga. Tip-off is at 7:30. Holland Blue Review Kids Rehabilitation Hospital is Canada's only children's rehab hospital and a global leader in research and care for child and youth rehabilitation. City News Time at 5:26. Coming up next, your business report.
A question from Search Kings. What strategy are you using for your digital advertising? Are you blindfolded, spraying wildly, not knowing what hits and what misses, but paying for all of it anyway? Or the smarter, more profitable Search Kings approach, using measured results, so you always know exactly how much you're paying to make the phone ring and get new customers. You want to stand out where your customers are online? Switch to Search Kings.
There's a local place to get healthcare. Shoppers Drug Mart pharmacists can write prescriptions for minor ailments like UTI, allergies, and more. Book an appointment online at shoppersdrugmart.ca/minor illness or visit in store. Prescriptions only available at pharmacist discretion.
Online betting is booming. Booyah! Win big.
But you can also lose, and that's a reality nobody's shouting about. Learn about online gambling risks and safer play at knowtherisks.ca. A message from the Responsible Gambling Council.
Now the business report.
I'm Mike Apple. Interest rates went up again this past week. The U.S. Fed, the Eurozone, Central Bank, the U.K. are all raising rates and warning rates likely have further decline to cool inflation. But for investors, 2023 has been a huge year already for tech stocks, dismissing concerns that it crushed the tech-heavy rates last year. Analysts are describing it as a case of FOMO, fear of missing out, as stocks rise. Retail investors putting cash into this market at a pace not seen since the Reddit rally of 2021. Jeff Phipps is a portfolio manager and trading strategist with Picton Mahoney Asset Management.
When you look at a number of lower quality names and more speculative parts of the market outperform, it's generally associated with more active asset managers such as hedge funds repositioning across the shorts that they have in their books, as well as retail. Retail has been a pretty important force in January so far, looking at participation in the market. Cohorts within that group do prefer some of these more speculative parts of the market.
U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Jay Powell literally told the market this week he's going to be raising interest rates at least once, maybe twice more, a warning that was dismissed until Friday when the U.S. labor market stats for January came in much stronger than forecast. It's only reinforced the idea that the U.S. Federal Reserve officials will be issuing new warnings over the next few weeks.
is the tightest holding loose the stretch Spinners! Get thousands of double bracket NHL games, the Stanley Cup playoffs, and more with a new Sports Deck Premium 6-month package. It's a beauty! Kids baseball himself. Now is the time to score the best value deal available. Subscribe today at sn.ca. Available for a limited time only.
If you've been longing to take your driving experience to a new level of luxury, the team at Mercedes-Benz New Market is here to help. Right now, take advantage of special rates on most new 2022 vehicles, starting from as low as 4.99%. Plus, existing customers can enjoy an extra 2% loyalty rate reduction. Don't miss out on these great rates. Mercedes-Benz New Market, proud winner of the prestigious 2022 Star Dealer Award. Find out more at mercedes-benzNewmarket.ca.
I'm Rika Amatrol is our editor this hour, and Amber LeBlanc is the news director. The News Watch never stops. City News 680 live 24/7. The sound of the double tones. The time will be exactly 6 o'clock, 5:30.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is City News 680 everywhere.
Good afternoon. It's Sunday, February the 5th. I'm Kate Lindley. And I'm Christy Ritchie. Here's what's making news this hour.
After a frigid weekend with the city's warming centers 99% full, City Council is set to debate a motion that would keep warming centers open for the entirety of winter.
Some Canadians have already picked up some trophies ahead of tonight's ceremony, including the Six's own Drake, as Beyonce looks to become the most awarded in Grammys history.
The Society of Ontario and advocates have successfully caused Metrolinx from cutting down 200-year-old trees after a court injunction was granted against the transit agency.
A hit and run on the Danforth early this morning is now being investigated as a homicide.
The Brooklyn Nets trade Kyrie Irving to Dallas. Mo Horvath of the Islanders locked in for 8 years, while the Raptors tip off in Memphis in 30 minutes. Sports at 45.
And coming up in business, Canadian business owners and consumers are now embracing digital options, and Generation Z is helping to drive the shift.
City News Time, 5:31. Time for traffic and weather from all the ones. Here's Maria Porter.
This report is brought to you by AGM Renovations. It's a busy drive on the eastbound 401 right now. I'm seeing a slowdown from the 427 to Kipling, and then it picks back up again as you approach the 400 of the Express, from the 400 Express and Collectors to east of Keele and the Collectors, and it bunches up again through Leslie and the Collectors. And on the westbound 401, a slow go through the 412, and it gets slow again and through Kipling. And on the northbound DVP, still seeing those delays as you approach Eglinton to north of Lawrence. And on the southbound 400 up in Barrie, it's slow from Bayfield to approaching Essa. I heard from a traffic spotter there's some construction through there, so that's what's causing that slowdown there. And you'll also find it slow on the southbound 400 as you approach the 401 ramps. Southbound 404 DVP is also pretty busy as you approach Shepherd to south of Lawrence. And on the westbound Garner, it seems that those slowdowns have now eased. Everything is now moving up to speed if you're heading out of the downtown core. But on the westbound QEW, I am seeing a little bit of a bunch up as you approach Dixie, but it is starting to ease. And on the eastbound Gardner, you'll also find it slow from the Humber Bay Bridge to approaching Jameson. How about the money you save is staying at home? You spend on your home, increase your living space, finish your basement. Call AGM now and get $5,000 off your new basement. Visit AGMRenovations.com. Your next report's coming up at 5:41 with the forecast. Here's Carl Lamb.
It is a cool night tonight, but certainly not as cold as it has been. -2 is the overnight low with cloudy conditions. A little bit of light rain and some wet snowflakes are possible. Not everyone's going to get it, but just want to give you a heads up that you could run into a little bit tonight. And then tomorrow is a nice day to start with clouds. We get more sunshine, -1. Feels like -6 with a northerly wind running through. It would be nice to see the sun again with some better looking and feeling temperatures. Right now it's 3 at Pearson, 4 downtown. Tonight's overnight low is -2.
City News Time, 5:33. This week, City Council is set to discuss whether to keep warming centers open 24/7 during this latest spate of frigid weather. The spaces were almost all filled to capacity, and they only open when temperatures drop to minus 15. Our James Mackin joins us live now with more on what homeless advocates want City Council to change. James.
Well, Christine, this motion would seek to keep warming centers open 24 hours every single day until April 15th. It was introduced by 3 city councilors, that's Alejandro Bravo, Usman Malik, and Gord Perks, and it would also seek to expand all amount of available warming centers citywide. Right now, there's only 4 in operation, 2 of them downtown, 1 in North York, and 1 in Scarborough. Dr. Maggie Holbert, a U of T resident physician and homeless advocate with Health Providers Against Poverty, tells me she knows of at least 5 people who died of hypothermia last year while living on the streets, and increasing the amount of warming centers could have kept them alive.
With the cold temperatures we've seen the past couple days, I'm afraid that is going to happen again, and we're going to hear people who have died. So I think it's 24/7 available warm space for people to be with enough spaces for everyone in the city who needs it is the biggest problem.
Tomorrow at 11:30, Health Providers Against Poverty will be holding a rally outside City Hall asking our municipal government to invest in people, not police, and urging them to adopt this motion. City Council will be debating it on Tuesday morning. Reporting live, James Mackin, City News.
City News Time, 5:35 to Los Angeles now, where some trophies are already in the hands of stars ahead of the Grammys tonight. Canadians Drake and Michael Bublé, as well as great Harry Styles getting some wins. Beyonce also already has 2 awards under her belt, 2 steps closer to becoming the most awarded artist in Grammy history. She just needs 2 more. Our Erica Coastal reports.
The Grammys Top Award Album of the Year is always a big one, and this year the category is jam-packed with star talent. Harry Styles, Adele, and of course Beyonce are among those vying for the top prize. Speaking of Queen Bee, she could become the most decorated artist ever at the Grammys if she wins 4 of her 9 nominations. Disco group ABBA could win its inaugural Grammy 40 years after first hitting the charts. The show starts at 8 tonight on City TV. Erica Coastal, City News.
City News Time, 5:36. We have a wave of warmer temperatures working their way into the GTA this week. Our meteorologist Carl Lamb says this means we have temperatures mostly above the freezing mark during the day and not cooling down much in the evening.
The coldest day looks like it's going to be Monday with sunshine and temperatures right around 0, but you factor in that northerly wind and it's going to feel closer to minus 5 during the afternoon. And then we get into Tuesday, we bring back some rain, but temperatures will be around 5 degrees on Tuesday, and then we do have brighter conditions for Wednesday before we get back into some more rain for Thursday.
Today's City News guaranteed high is +4. This is City News 680 at 5:36. Toronto police say hit and run left one man dead in the city's east end is now being treated as a homicide. Officers were called to the intersection of Danforth and Woodbine Avenue shortly before 4 this morning. A pedestrian had been struck by a vehicle. The driver took off. The man pronounced dead in hospital. Police have not said what led them to classify the man's death as a homicide, but are asking anyone with information to come forward. A suspect description has not been released, but the driver was traveling in a dark-colored vehicle. Metrolinx has been forced to put down its chainsaws for now after the Law Society of Ontario got a temporary court injunction to save close to a dozen 200-year-old trees outside of Osgoode Hall. As our Marie Gomez tells us, Metrolinx wants to clear the trees to make way for the new Ontario line.
Advocates in the Law Society of Ontario successfully negotiated with Metrolinx to temporarily stop cutting down historic trees after it had already cut one down. With the injunction ruling against Metrolinx, advocates now have until Friday to discuss other options. City Councillor Josh Matlow says the trees are part of the city's natural heritage and cannot be replaced.
They've been here before the city of Toronto became a thing, and it's part of our city's story.
In a statement, Metrolinx says it met with the Law Society of Ontario several times prior to the start of work to avoid unnecessary delays. But Liz Driver, the interim chair of Bold Community Coalition, says Metrolinx's response is presumptuous.
It's just improper behavior for a public agency.
Metrolinx says they'll pause work on the the station until the injunction expires. Marie Gomez, City News.
City News Time 5:38. One of the most talked about NBA players for both his on and off court actions has been traded this afternoon.
Whoa! Kyrie Irving! Some razzle-dazzle! Kyrie Irving. He's an 8-time All-Star, one of the most controversial sports figures of the past few years, and now he's a Dallas Maverick after the Brooklyn Nets honored his trade request in a massive deal. The Mavs sent Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, and draft picks the other way. Back in 2021, it was found out that he was one of the only NBA players not vaccinated against COVID. He broke protocol by leaving the bubble. He was also ineligible to play in New York State and had to sit out home games because of quarantine rules. And then this past October, he tweeted about a film that supports anti-Semitism, misogyny, and homophobia. His own team suspended him for not apologizing, but then he finally did. Today, the Kyrie Brooklyn saga is over. Zach Bodenstein, City News.
Your gas price update is next. City News Time 5:39.
Furnace on the fritz? Get it fixed fast. EnerCare Home Services can get your heat going again with repairs done by a pro. And right now, for a limited time, get a furnace repair diagnostic for $0. That's a $99 savings. Getting your furnace fixed fast is good, but saving some money in the process? Like $99? Now that's a hot deal. Terms and conditions apply. Learn more at enercare.ca. That's enercare.ca.
Now the City News gas price update. ENCO predicts the price will not change at midnight. It will hold at $1.40.9 a liter. Traffic and weather in 1 minute. City News Time 5:40.
Raymond Young's here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. Well, it still doesn't fit. Well, you could try to sit on it. Or just go to eBay Motors and get it right the first time. When you see the green check, you know that part's going to fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, eBay Motors has millions of parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride.
Forecast calling for volatility outlast the storm with Skyline Investments. Skyline's REIT investors have seen stable annualized returns of 12% or more over the last 5 years. Invest in Skyline's private institutional quality real estate assets. Contact us today at skylinewealth.ca/volatility. Skyline Wealth Management Inc. is an exempt market dealer. Products are not guaranteed and investor qualifications apply. Past performance may not be repeated. Standard performance returns at skylinewealth.ca/volatility.
City News Time 5:41. Time for traffic and weather on the ones. Here's Maria Pardo.
This report is brought to you by Mr. Lube on the eastbound 401. And you'll find it busy from east of the 427 to Kipling. And again, as you approach the 400 in both the Express and Collectors. And then a little bit of a break, and it gets busy again from the 400 Express and Collectors to east of Keele Collectors. And I'm also seeing a lot of brake lights now through Leslie, both the Express and Collectors. On the westbound 401, also busy through the 412. And as you approach the 400 in the Express, you now have a stalled vehicle in the right lane. I do see MTO crews are now on scene. A little bit of a minor slowdown, but not looking too bad overall. But it is still busy through Kipling. And we now have reports from MTO at the 407. We now have a stalled vehicle in the HOV lane. The good news is it's not causing any delays. And you'll find it slow on the northbound DVP from approaching Eglinton to north of Lawrence. Southbound 400 is also a slow go from Bayfield to approaching Essa. And again, as you approach the 401 ramps, but that is starting to ease. And on the southbound 404 DVP, you'll also find delays from Shepherd to south of Lawrence. And if you're heading into the downtown core on the eastbound Gardner, well, it's slow from the Humber Bay Bridge to approaching